So this is known as the bag of the gods. This symbolism is widely known, but no one knows what it truly symbolizes. We see this in ancient Sumerian artwork. We see this in the Mayans' artwork. We always see this bag with the gods. What does this actually represent? Okay. So the bag itself represents carrying. Carrying what? It represents information, represents knowledge. Your mind is the carrier of the information. So this is why in his left hand he carries the bag, and the right hand has the pine cone. This represents carrying of information. Why is it a bag? A bag can be passed on to someone else. The information can be taught to someone else. This is the information of activation of the pineal gland or higher consciousness of humans. Because as humans, we all possess an animal nature, the nature that tells us to eat, to steal, to gain material wealth, to survive, to hate. This is our animal self. This is our animal behavior. But we also have a divine nature of consciousness, which we have access to, the higher planes of consciousness, the planes that manipulate this material world and create all things in this material world. The human mind has access to. The animal does not. The animal has no idea he exists. The animal has no inner dialogue, but humans have the inner dialogue. Humans can create infinitely. We can expand our minds infinitely into new realms of thought. So we have this higher divine nature and a lower nature. This bag of the gods is basically just representing the knowledge they possess of higher consciousness, of the higher aspect of life. Okay. Which is the activation of the pineal. The pine cone. The pine cone is in his right hand. The right represents wisdom. The left represents intellect, knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom are two separate things. Wisdom is applied knowledge, it's a feminine aspect. Knowledge is just gained information that you know, which is masculine. So in his right hand, he holds the pine cone. The pine cone can be opened and shut. The shut pine cone represents the asleep human being, the human being that exists in his lower nature, that just basically survives, lives on eating, consumption, material lust, living in chaos with his emotions, living in a place of hell. This is the animal nature. Then we have the awakened human, the one who has consciousness of himself, the one who looks within himself, the one who knows there is more to him when he looks in the mirror. He is far more than just the physical body. He is a divine spiritual being, a divine being who has limitless potential of creation into the material plane. So this represents the awakened. This represents the asleep. This is why he carries the pine cone in his right hand. It represents applied knowledge. This is the information. This is the intellect he possesses. And this is the applied knowledge of the awakening, of activation of the pineal gland. Because remember, the pineal gland is not your consciousness. The pine, pin, pineals, the same root word. Pine cones were always symbolizing the state of consciousness one was living in, whether he was asleep or awake. We see this at the Vatican. We see the pine cone over the two pillars. This is the two pillars of Freemasonry, and the dome. This is the Royal Arch of Freemasonry. This represents your head. This is the two pillars, the two hemispheres, and the pine cone in the middle, which is the pineal gland. What is the pineal gland? The pineal gland is not your consciousness. It is not the third eye, and it is not the mind. It's not the mind's eye. The pineal gland is a radio receiver. This is your body. Your body is an antenna. Most people think they are this body. This body is nothing but a receiver and a downloader of consciousness. Your brain does not produce consciousness. You are not this brain in your head. This brain is a downloader of consciousness. Consciousness comes from a way higher divine plane, which is what this image is showing here with the clouds. The mind is light. Consciousness is light. And this light is coming down into the material plane, and your body is basically a crystal antenna which is receiving and downloading this consciousness. So you can experience a three-dimensional reality. So God can experience himself in a divided, separate state. This is what this represents. Now, the pineal gland can be activated, okay, and stimulated because the pineal gland has phytoluminescent crystallized jagged-shaped cells on it. And obviously, these are crystals. Crystals are on your pineal gland. And what do crystals do? Radios use crystals. Your phone uses crystals. They tell you that crystals are woo-woo and pseudoscience because they don't want you to know the power of crystals. Your body is basically a giant crystal. Your pineal gland is a radio receiver for your consciousness. So if they can ruin your pineal gland and damage it, this will damage your connection to the divine, to your true self, to consciousness, to God, whatever you want to call it, the source. There is all one source consciousness, and we're all collectively connected to it. And this is our connection. This is our antenna. So what a radio does, a radio has an antenna, and the frequencies are all around us because all the radios are playing in your ear right now. But what the antenna of a radio does is tune into a specific frequency to pick up that frequency and play that frequency. It's the same with your consciousness. You're all a fraction of God's consciousness. So that is essentially what we are looking at here. We're seeing knowledge, intellect in the left hand, and applied knowledge, activation of waking up to higher consciousness, to the higher human form. Because we can reach beyond our physical form. We can turn our animal self into a divine being, into one of these so-called gods. These gods are nothing but human beings. The Anunnaki were not gods. They didn't come from the sky. These are normal, regular human beings who activated their higher consciousness. This is what we have here. This represents spirit. Birds represent spirit. So do we have any questions? I'll take some questions now. That was just a short lecture on what that symbol truly means. Okay. So if we have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask some questions. Anything that you don't understand, anything that you want to know. Okay. So base reality would be where source resides. Yes, the base reality is your consciousness. Are these lectures available in the university? There's a whole section, basically inside the university, there's a whole section with like over 30 long form lectures like this. So the base reality is where the source resides. Yes, the base reality is your inner world, your consciousness. That is the only thing that exists. Your outer world is just an effect of your consciousness. Your consciousness, everything that has gone on within the mind and emotion is pushed outwards into your reality. You have thought and felt your way into your external circumstances. Your life is a direct correlation of every thought you thought in the past. Therefore, your inner world of consciousness is creating and molding your outer world. The best way to keep connection consistent, the best way to keep your connection to the divine or the higher planes of consciousness is through meditation and through imagination. Imagination is the fourth dimension. It is the astral plane. That screen that you have in your mind is not a physical screen. That is the divine plane of the astral. And this is essentially where all objects of this material world comes from. The phone that you are holding, the laptop you're watching this on, whatever you're doing, every single object you see in your room that you are in right now began inside of the plane of imagination. This is not a physical plane. This is a metaphysical plane that you have access to. And you have the ability to bring down this plane into physical form. That's what we call manifestation. That's what the ancients called magic. This is what we now call in science metaphysics. It's all the same thing. So, yes, you all have access to the divine planes, unlike animals. This is why humans are so advanced. Okay. Is the pineal able to constantly activated, or is it just a temporary experience? I don't fully understand that question, unfortunately. Maybe you could word it in a different way. The real meditations on the university, legit, y'all. Yes. In order to connect to consciousness, you need to sit in meditation and turn off your feelings, and the feeling of unity will come. Do I understand correctly? Yes, that is correct. So when you sit in silence and in stillness, I highlight the word stillness because stillness, when you are still, no information from your nervous system is being decoded by the brain. So when your body is still and does not move, your nervous system starts to relax and comes to a balanced state. Your brain starts to relax, it comes to a balanced state. The left and the right brain stop working, the nervous system stops working. Then, once the body, the material body, is shut down, you then have access to consciousness. You can't access consciousness if the body's in such a busy state. If electricity is being fired every 2 seconds, your whole body's electrical. When you move your foot, that's electricity being fired from the brain to the foot instantly through the nervous system. Your brain, your whole body is a technological machine. So you must shut down the technological machine to access the divine that exists beyond the technological machine. Do you understand that? Did we create ourselves from the higher plane when you say, yes, you created yourself, you manifested yourself in this material form for a reason in this specific time and place? Wisdom books, are these available inside the university? Yes, they are. So anyone who joins the university, they all gain 50% off the store. So you can get anything you want inside the store for 50% off. Plus, you get the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 PDF for free. You get the Human Health Guide. Plus, you get all of the library books. There's a load of different books on occultism, symbolism, esotericism. Do you need to place your attention somewhere specific during meditation? You can do. Okay, you can do. So, if you struggle, when you first start to meditate and you struggle to turn off the thoughts, think of the back of the brain, the back of your head. Don't think of it, place your attention on it. Okay. So when you place your attention on the back of the brain, this now shuts off thought because the back of the brain doesn't have any activation to do with thought. The front brain does, the neocortex. That's all to do with activation of thinking. So place your attention on either the back of the brain or your breath. What's more important, creating yourself or finding yourself? It's balance of both. So in order for you to create fully, you must have awareness of self and awareness of thought and control over the mental dialogue, the inner voice inside of you. Okay. When you control that inner voice, that is when you gain power. That inner voice is what brings commands into physical reality. Before you kick a football, there is a change in consciousness. There's a decision made in consciousness before the body takes the action. Therefore, every physical manifestation is a change of inner consciousness before it's a physical reality. You can have the reality you want through consciousness before physically having it. That's the secret to creating. But you must believe it like you know the sun is going to rise in the morning. That's how much you should know that you have that reality in consciousness through feeling and thought and imagination. And that's how you can truly create in your reality. Shrooms help with consciousness or ego. I can't really talk about that because I'm maybe uploading this to YouTube, unfortunately. But we need to clean our pineal gland first from calcification. Yes, definitely. You should go on a detox the body. Because you can't really connect with consciousness if your body is in such a dirty state. Because the brain is your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight, trying to fight off all these toxins. So when you meditate, you're probably going to be having thoughts all the time because your brain's firing, your nervous system's being attacked through toxins. So you must detox to have a true connection with the divine. Your diet plays a big role in your spirituality and mentality. What is the most optimal food for pure consciousness? Fruits and vegetables. They possess consciousness. So when you place them inside of you, they're syncing with your consciousness. How to check the cleanliness of your body, your skin, your teeth, your tongue, your mouth. If your skin has spots, different colors on it, you're not clean because your skin is a reflection of your inner organs. Coffee's not the best for you. Coffee gives you fake energy. Okay. So what coffee does, that buzz you get off coffee is actually the toxic effect of the chemicals reacting with your body. If I'm inside the university and wanted to buy your book, you said it would be 50% off because we are your student. Is that automatic or we need to have a code? You will have a code. Yes, I'm going to releasing a code for all the students after this. Caffeine equals neurotoxin. Yes, it fries your brain, it fries your nervous system, it fries your dopamine receptors. Will the Q&A last week about money symbolism be posted? Oh, I didn't post that. That's my bad. I totally forgot. I will post that after this. Thank you for reminding me. How to detox the body. The best way to detox the body is going through a week cleanse of fruit. So only consume fruit, sea moss, and cayenne pepper, and lots of freshly pressed juice. Do that for a week or 2 weeks, depending on how you feel, and then start to fast. You will lose weight, but you're not losing weight. You're losing impurities. It's good to do this every couple of months to just go on a raw fruit diet, cleanse the body, push everything out, and then start to fast while consuming sea moss and having lots of freshly squeezed juices. What is an alternative for coffee? Something with high energy levels. Okay, we're not taught the most simplest thing about the human body. It is an electromagnetic machine. It's electrical. It runs off electricity. The only energy you need is electricity, and that is found in fruits, vegetables. If you want energy, drink pure, fresh, pressed juice. That will give you more energy, more electricity than coffee. Can we cleanse ourselves through oil pulling? Do you recommend it? I do oil pulling every day with coconut oil in my mouth. Celery juice is a good one, very good one. Yeah, celery juice. Any more questions? What kind of music do you listen to when lifting? For me, rap, hip hop push me work harder, but I know it's terrible for my subconscious. Yes, very. At least you're aware of it. You should be definitely try and stay away from the hip hop music. Try and stay away from anything that's talking about anything negative because this is all programming your subconscious. And your belief system is your reality, people. Your belief system is your reality. Okay. So look after your subconscious. That's what's controlling your actions. 90% of your actions on a daily basis are controlled through your subconscious beliefs. Okay. I listen to a lot of Pastel Ghost. I listen to a lot of let me get my playlist up. It's all like background music for TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like Pastel Ghost. That's mainly what I listen to. That sort of music. I don't know what it's kind of called. I don't know what that genre is called. Does anyone know what that genre is actually called? Because there's not much words in it. The reason I listen to it is because there's not much words in it, and it helps the subconscious. And I just love that music. Uh, Like lofi, yeah, a bit of lofi. Uh, Most people won't even know this type of music. Can you tell us how you use cayenne pepper? So I mix it with freshly squeezed orange juice every morning. So first thing I have, empty stomach, I have a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, mix it in and just down it every morning and sometimes at night. The feeling you get in your stomach after putting cayenne pepper on an empty stomach is absolutely amazing. It tingles in your stomach. It kills parasites. It kills all horrible organisms. Mix it with hot water. Yes, hot water and key lime water. That I bet that's powerful. If you mixed warm water with key lime with cayenne pepper in first thing in the morning, I can imagine how powerful that is. I've never done that, but I'm going to try that. Do you use sea salt? I don't know what to think about sea salt, to be honest. I try and stay away from it. I don't know whether it's good, don't know whether it's bad. I'm kind of mixed on it, mixed information. Uh, I've heard people have benefits. I've heard other people say stay away from it. So I don't know. I just stay away from it. Just I'm not too sure on it. I drink fresh pressed celery juice every morning. Yeah, definitely. Uh, is there any chance we could like feel move to like esoteric occult questions? The only reason I say that is because I might be posting this to YouTube, so it's like I don't want them I don't want them thinking I'm giving health advice because I'm not. This is what I do. I'm not giving anyone medical advice. This is what I would do to myself because I can probably get in trouble for that. So the subconscious is the all knowing, it is the all seeing eye. The subconscious knows everything. Your conscious mind does not. Your subconscious knows every single cell in your body. Your subconscious is making your heart beat. It's talking to your heart. It's talking to every organ, every cell in your body is being connected and spoken to by your subconscious mind. It is the all knowing. The subconscious has access to the astral plane, imagination, the fourth dimension. It has access to the mental plane, thoughts. It has access to the ethereal plane, energy, and has access to your physical body. It's the door, it's the portal. The subconscious is the portal to the divine. You must go through the subconscious in order to access the divine. Any coupon codes for book two? Yes, inside the university, there will be a 50% off coupon code. Speaking of ancient civilizations, why did they use symbols to give us true knowledge? This is a very, very good question. Very good question indeed. The reason they use symbols is because symbols are their keys. They hide meanings. They hide things. For example, if it was written down, if all of this sacred knowledge that I'm speaking now was written down, it can be easily taken. It can be easily misused. Someone can take it, read it, and steal it and misuse it and abuse the world and create horrible things. The reason they use symbols is because they're hidden. They hide the teachings. Only the ones who possess the key, that possess the knowledge, can read the symbol. So the symbols act as a guard towards this higher wisdom, this higher knowledge, which gives you power. All of the knowledge I teach you gives you power, and you can misuse it. You can misuse your imagination. You have no clue unless you've put this into action how powerful your inner consciousness is. You can become a real. Okay, listen. If you hate your job, it's not the job that you hate. Think about it. It's not the job that you hate. The hate is coming from your inner consciousness. It's the state of consciousness that you hate. So, what does that tell you? You can change that inner consciousness of to another reality, the feeling of another reality. You can become that consciousness within before you actually externally have it. And by becoming and knowing that reality, that's what produces effect on shaping your outer world. When you really truly know that reality inside of you, of being free, of being wealthy, of having abundance, your outer world has no other choice but to rearrange itself to your new inner state of consciousness. That's what magic is. It's manipulating your inner state of consciousness. It's convincing yourself that you already have it, not believing it, knowing it. Okay? Knowing is different than believing. Believing is a lie. You should know thyself. Okay? So we can say that human overpopulation is intentional. There is no human overpopulation. We're all cramped in these cities. We're all cramped into one little place. We're not supposed to live like that. We're not supposed to live so cramped. This is why there's so many weirdos out in public. So many weird people doing weird things. This is when things start to go weird, and we shouldn't be living in this state, in this condensed state. We should be spread out. Okay. Uh, there is no overpopulation. It's just an illusion because we all lived in such. Have you ever been on a plane? Have you seen how much land there is? It's crazy. There's no overpopulation. And how many people do they say there's in the world? There's not that many people in the world that they say. I think it's like 8 billion. I think they say there's 8 billion people. There's not 8 billion people. There's probably more like 2 billion. And the reason I say that is because I have a friend who only has like 300K followers. That's a lot of followers. Okay. And he gets recognized everywhere he goes. And he's into all this stuff. And he says, listen, the population is definitely not 8 billion or whatever they say. I think it's like a couple billion. It's probably more like a billion. How to properly manifest intentions. Thought, emotion, and imagination are the key. You must know that you have that reality. Don't believe it. Become that reality within your consciousness all day long, as much as possible. Feel it. Imagine it. Say it. and have zero doubt. How to have zero doubt. You can't, well, okay, so the doubt, that little voice that will seep into your mind saying, you can't do that, you can't do this, that's your old voice of your subconscious program. Listen, the reason why most people fail in life is because they have trained their subconscious that they will fail. They have told and believed that they will fail. The reason I will succeed for the rest of my life is because I have trained my subconscious to say, I will win, I will succeed, I will solve any problem. That's my belief system. And if my belief system is that, then my external reality, my conscious mind will seek a way to fulfill that belief. It will seek to control and create that belief in my external world. It will seek to solve any problem. I've trained my subconscious mind to know that I already have the reality, to know that I'm abundant, to know that I have everything that I already need. Therefore, if any problem comes, I can sort it straight away. But most people have a different belief. It's not your fault. We've been kind of manipulated and told this, that that they will fail, that they can't do anything, that it's too hard. And that basically casts a spell on the conscious mind, where your conscious mind is just like, no, I can't do that, because of this subconscious belief that you hold. So you must reprogram your subconscious that you can do it, that you will solve any problem, and that you are abundant. That's the reason why successful people succeed. It's because they have a complete different mind state, a complete different belief system in their subconscious. Do you offer mentoring? Yes, I do offer mentoring, but it's mainly for people who want to grow their online presence, and for the amount of value and transformation that I can place into your life, and the time that, well, the price of my time, it will be a higher price tag, but your life will completely change if you join my mentoring, because I will transmute your life. I will transmute your mind, and I will transmute your whole reality, because I could tell you exactly what you need to do. How to have super genius power pulling information from the source. Okay, so you can do this. I talked about this in Book of Wisdom, Volume 2, if you've read it. This is a technique that Albert Einstein used. This is a technique that Thomas Edison used. This is a technique that all of the ancient geniuses have used. So you get on a chair, you place metal below you or plates, and you hold a metal ball in your hand, and you fall asleep. And every time you fall asleep on the chair, you're going to drop the ball because your body will become unconscious, and you will basically drop the ball and it will wake you up because it's going to hit and make a loud bang on the plate. And every time you go to sleep, basically what this is actually doing is shifting your consciousness from conscious into the subconscious. So from physical into the astral, your consciousness is shifting between these two planes. And as you do this, you can bring down great ideas from these higher planes. So when you fall asleep, have an intention. And when you fall asleep, you'll drop the ball. And when you wake back up, you'll have an idea, and you just got to write it down. How to balance chakras. Don't focus on balancing your chakras. Focus on the mind. The mind is the cause of the chakras being blocked. If you have a blocked throat chakra, this is a problem in your mind, not the chakra. You see, the chakras are a result of the mind. You transmute the mind, you can transmute the chakras and cleanse them. So was Jesus a real man that walked? Okay, so I'm going to tell you something like some of the things that I say in my reels, they are to catch attention. So if I say the first thing on the reel, Jesus never existed, straight away, you see that, it's going to trigger you. It's going to trigger Christians, it's going to trigger people. So yes, I do say things to catch attention. The reason I do that is because I have to in order to catch attention. Maybe there was a Jesus who walked. So in the past, I have said Jesus never existed. Yes, this is to catch attention, to boost the reels, views, and comments and stuff like that. Maybe there was a man who was called Jesus and walked the earth. But listen, he was not the Son of God. You are all the Son of God. Jesus represents an archetype. He represents morals. He represents a way of living that you should embody in your life, not to worship. We shouldn't be worshiping this man. We should be embodying his qualities into our lives so we can become Christ consciousness, so we can live in harmony with our mind, emotions, body, and spirit. Okay? He was not the Son of God. You are all the Son of God. We are all God experiencing himself in a three-dimensional divided form. God is oneness, and he created a divided world so he can experience himself. Why do you quote from the Freemasons oft times? I don't recall me looking at Freemason quotes and quote them. I just simply, when I post a quote, I literally just, whatever comes to my head, I just whack it into Telegram or Twitter. Are dreams tied to your subconscious, and how do you understand them? Okay. Dreams and astral projection are two different things. Astral projection is your soul leaving this plane into the collective consciousness, into the collective mind, the collective astral plane. But dreams are basically the astral plane, but it's your personal astral plane in your personal subconscious. So when you dream, you're entering your own consciousness, you're entering your own subconscious. Every character, every event that happens to you, everything that is said to you, everything that happens to you in your dream is yourself pushed outwards, and you're basically experiencing your own mind. If something scary comes up in your dream, this is your belief, this is something in the back of your mind materializing and coming to you and showing itself to you. So in order to understand your dreams, it's basically suppressed emotions, suppressed thoughts, all lingering in your subconscious materialized. Okay. A few months ago, I'd have concurrent dreams of getting in a car crash that lasted for months. Then one day out of nowhere, I got into a really bad accident, and that low-key bugged me out. I didn't know if my mind was trying to warn me or what. You can explain that. Okay. If you are having dreams about having a car crash, this is a belief. Okay, so let me tell you something. Let's say you're a drug dealer, okay? And you live in fear every single day of the police coming to you. This dealer every day is worried, he's scared, and he lives in fear of the police getting him. He was believing it. This fear, this emotion he was feeling on a regular basis, repetition, and the emotion is basically impressing your subconscious. It's impressed his subconscious that deeply that he now believes it. It's now become a belief. So one day the dealer gets caught and he goes to prison. Let me tell you something. He placed himself there because he created a program, a belief in his subconscious of the police. And his external reality is now in a prison cell. But that prison cell is just an external manifestation of the prison cell of fear he installed in his subconscious mind. The four walls he's now trapped in is just basically an externalization of his own belief system that he created through consciousness, through the subconscious. If you embedded your belief that you will be in a car crash, you will be in a car crash. He placed himself there. He materialized that reality through the thought, through the emotion, through the belief. He put himself there. You see? So if you were having dreams, this was maybe, it could have been anything. You could have watched a program when you were a child about a car crash and that maybe scared you. Or you saw a car crash when you were very young and that scared you and that impressed your subconscious. Then you had a dream about it. Then you started to believe it. And then one day, bang, it happens. That's the power of the subconscious mind. It holds control over you. It holds control over every aspect of your reality, of your being. So I hope you all enjoyed this live. I'll see you all inside Ethereal University. I'll be posting another lecture this week. And yeah.